Well, I can only imagine that nerves must be frayed in Chile. The aftershocks continue and they become more and more powerful, it seems. Not that long ago, a magnitude 7.8 for a lot of people, that is a major earthquake. This is an aftershock, only 10 kilometers deep as well, 12 kilometers southwest of Iquique. That's where the first earthquake happened, but it was 100 kilometers offshore. So this one is much closer, and tsunami warnings have been issued yet again, this time just for coastal Chile. So we'll be keeping an eye on this. So that's the tectonic plates shifting back into their new positions after the initial 8.2 earthquake. Okay, let's talk about weather here at home. We've got temperatures from Wednesday across southern Ontario. Not a bad day. Sunshine, little on the breezy side though. It was windy. That made it feel probably just a little bit cooler for you. As far as the long range forecast is concerned, we do have temperatures that are going to drop for Thursday. Normal daytime highs in Toronto, for example, around 9 degrees. We needed it to be a little bit cooler because it just slows down the whole ice jam situation. The slower the melt, the easier it is because it means less risk for flooding. We do have rain coming on Friday. This is for Orangeville, and it could be quite substantial as well. Potentially some thunderstorms in southwestern Ontario. So there's the look ahead for the next few days. Temperatures a little bit cool on Thursday, as I mentioned, warming for Friday and then cooling off again on Saturday. Let's go to Halifax. You've seen your fair share of wintry weather. This was, you do have a little more snow coming. I know, I'm sorry. It's not heavy snow, however, but we're talking about 2 to 5 centimeters, and that will be early in the day on Thursday, just enough to slick up the roads, just enough to get on top of any snow you already have. Here's the reason: we've got a trough moving through. That's that red dotted line. Not quite an area of low pressure, but still some instability in the atmosphere, enough to bring some snow to the area. Temperatures will be a little bit cool on Thursday as well, just a couple of degrees shy of seasonal, but the long range forecast isn't too bad. Saturday at this point is looking a little bit messy, so this is what it looks like as we get into Halifax's long-range forecast. Hi there, I'm Kim MacDonald. We're talking about aftershocks. 8.2 magnitude earthquake just over 24 hours ago off the shores of Chile. That's what we were talking about. But sometimes the aftershocks, even though the name doesn't sound quite as bad as earthquake, can be just as damaging, if not worse. Now, we already know that people are nervous. People were sleeping outside of their homes for fear of the aftershocks because it does get rather shaky. And we've had some rather large ones in the last little while. So in the last hour or so, a magnitude 7.8. And that's the aftershock. It was more shallow than the original earthquake, and it was closer to shore, only 12 kilometers southwest of Iquique. The earthquake that happened the day before was about 100 kilometers away. Now, as a result, there are tsunami warnings, but just for the Chilean coast, not for places like Peru or Colombia. So just Chilean coast for now. Anyway, there are tsunami warnings. So we're keeping our eye on this story, and we'll continue to follow it. Let's talk a little bit about Atlantic Canada. You have a little more snow coming your way. I know you have seen all kinds of stormy weather. This is not going to be that bad. A couple of centimeters on the ground, 5 at the most. But would you be ready if you were forced from your homes? Do you have an emergency kit? It's one thing to have one, but do you know exactly what should be in it? Here's Nathan Coleman with more. Okay, good advice there. We do have a system that's moving into Ontario. This will be primarily for Friday. Northern Ontario getting hit with all kinds of snow again, 20, 30 centimeters, not out of the question. Southern Ontario, rain and the possibility of thunderstorms. This will be a messy mix as we head towards Atlantic Canada. Coming up, aftershocks. Word has been coming out of Chile of an aftershock that was almost as powerful as the initial earthquake. So magnitude 7.8. The problem is this was closer to the coast and more shallow than the original earthquake. There have been dozens of aftershocks, this one the biggest in the last 24 hours, and we are likely going to see more of this kind of thing. So this particular one, word is there is widespread damage as a result of it, and I'm thinking too because it was closer and the area was more shallow. We're talking about maybe 12 kilometers southwest of Iquique, and tsunami warnings have been issued as a result along the coast. So Chile again under a tsunami warning as a result not of the initial earthquake but of the aftershock that happened not that long ago. So we'll continue to follow this story. In the meantime, The U.S. may see some severe weather on Thursday. It is springtime. That's when the southern U.S. starts to see the potential for tornadoes. Last season, certainly quite bad. This season has begun already. This is potential, so a moderate risk, although this could be raised to a high risk by the time we get to Thursday. They don't like to put high risk too far in advance for these kinds of things. Obviously, tornadoes are very hard to predict, but if we do see them, Missouri, Arkansas area, there's the slight risk. And we have green that moves all the way up into southwestern Ontario. That will be the potential for thunderstorms, not tornadoes. Big anniversary, though, for the Windsor tornado coming up on April 3rd, and a lot of people remember that one. Okay, so here we go. Area of low pressure moving in. This is the one that could potentially bring some very active weather stateside. Widespread rain for Ontario on Friday. Northern Ontario Friday and Saturday, that will be all snow. So we're talking about heavy amounts of snow for Thunder Bay, Geraldton, Wawa as well, Kapuskasing, Timmins seeing that snow, and through the Nickel Belt as well. So it's going to be another snowy event for you. I even hate to say it, but you can't seem to get a break in Northern Ontario either. Temperatures on Wednesday across Ontario, pretty nice. This is seasonal, although it was a little bit cooler in St. Catharines than the day before. St. Catharines on Tuesday got up to 18 degrees with a southerly wind. Not quite the same on Wednesday. Colder weather is coming on Thursday, and then the rain returns on Friday. Coming up, we'll continue. Glad you're here. We've been getting reports out of Chile now that a very powerful aftershock, a 7.8, has been causing widespread damage. We have now tsunami warnings, not just for coastal Chile, but for Peru as well because of this. Almost as strong as the initial earthquake. 7.8 is very powerful, but this could be worse in a couple of ways. It is closer to shore, only 20 or 12 kilometers offshore, and only 10 kilometers deep. So it is more shallow and more close to land than the initial 8.2 magnitude. And of course, the aftershocks could continue not just days, but weeks and months after the initial earthquake. And 8.2, obviously, very powerful. This is your West National forecast. We'll begin on BC's coast. We do have some rain in the forecast coming. It's been dry for the last few days. You've had pretty decent weather overall, but the rain will come. It's traditional, right? It is April after all. And here are the showers to bring your May flowers, although I would not be surprised if you already have your flowers blooming in BC. And this will be ongoing for the next couple of days. You're not going to get steady, heavy rain, but you'll get showers and then drizzle and then showers again. So for the next few days, it's going to be just unsettled, let's put it that way. 20 to 40 millimeters at the most, and that's in the dark green. I don't know if you can see it because of that banner, but there's potential for heavier rain there. And obviously, you're out embracing it. Although the first part of the day on Thursday won't be bad. If you go out for a morning run, you take the dog out, that kind of thing. For lower mainland anyway, it'll be fairly dry to start the day. I can't say the same really for places like Tofino. On Vancouver Island, you're going to have the showers move in a little bit earlier. But there you go. So one system after another. This is a long-range forecast showing you what we anticipate. Saturday looks to be the wettest day, unfortunately, as we head into the weekend. And you're going to get a little bit of a break on Sunday before the next one comes in. Let's go to Weyburn, Saskatchewan now. Isn't this beautiful? Nice little sunset happening there. We do have some snow coming. I know. Okay, so there's a little bit of snow coming to the prairies. Not heavy snow, but 2 to 5 centimeters of it. So we've got a trough moving across Alberta, Saskatchewan, into Manitoba as well. The heaviest amount of snow will be in the highest elevations. So through the foothills, 5 to 10 centimeters there, including like